I just had a realization. I could use some help with understanding because if it's true, then it makes me very upset. And I think it should also make the rest of the world very upset. Please, if I'm wrong on this, I would like somebody to explain it to me because I really don't want to feel upset. But last night I had a realization, and this is what that realization is. Has anyone ever tried to make alcohol before? I asked because I was just recently doing some research on it. And come to find out, we're able to make alcohol within about 10 days, 15 days maybe. We can make 90+% alcohol with only 3 ingredients. These 3 ingredients, water, yeast, and sugar. In 10 days, that will get you about 15 to 18 to 20% alcohol just by sitting in a 5-gallon container or a 100-gallon container. I think it's about, I'm not sure, I think it's 5 cups of sugar for 1 gallon, 3 liters of water. I'm not positive about that yet. I don't think it's 5 cups. Maybe it's 1 cup. I don't know. We'll do the research. I'll double check on that. But basically, you can get between 15 to 20%, 15 to 18% alcohol content after 10 days. Then what you do is you distill it, which is a very, very, very simple process. Essentially, you just heat up the liquid that you have retained, and you heat that up until you boil off alcohol, but you don't set the temperature so high that it boils off the water. So whatever the temperature is, where you start to begin to boil the alcohol, but the water stays in its liquid form, then that's called distilling. And you can capture that runoff of that alcohol, and you can get 90% or more, up to probably 92% alcohol. Then you have to start doing some things to, if you want to remove the excess water, I guess you have to beads, or you can just, I think you can maybe even distill another time. I'm still learning about this. But what's interesting is it can be made between, let's say, 11, 12, 15 days. And you can cook it in any size batches you want. It can be a 5-gallon container. It could be a small amount. It could also be a 100-gallon container. And for those of you who don't know, through simple modifications on engines, we can get engines to run on pure alcohol. And what's amazing about that is that pure alcohol, it burns very cleanly. And the exhaust does not contaminate the air, the roads, the streets, our environment. We don't have to dig for oil. We don't have to fight for oil. We don't have to kill anybody for oil. Oil is irrelevant. Why? Because all we need is sugar. And how do we get sugar? We can get sugar in lots of different ways. One of the easiest ways we can get sugar is by planting sugar cane in places where there's a lot of water. We can also get sugar from coconuts. We can get sugar from corn, and we can breed and genetically engineer these plants so that they can produce more sugar and be sweeter instead of less sweet, like what we're getting around the world right now, or in some parts of the world, I should say, not all. Am I wrong on this? Does that mean that we don't need wars? We don't need to be fighting or going into big money schemes with giant organizations, paying off politicians, paying off governments, paying off people that are fucking up our lives? Motherfuckers.